Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios. It is Reindeer Club Day, and it's Design Team Thursday. Yay for double play. Okay, I had printed out the entire digital kit of Dear Julie Julie's Morning Roses collection so that I could show you everything that is in the digital kit, as well as what I am using in today's cards. And can't find them anywhere. I just printed them out yesterday, and they've disappeared. I swear I have borrowers. But that brings me to a first point before we get into the cards. Beginning Saturday, I will be starting a series called on my organization of how I organize my studio. And Saturday's video, be warned, it's going to be very scary because I am going to show you the ugly before we get into the pretty. So I'm going to take you on a walkthrough of my studio and explain to you what is supposed to be where. And then for the next few Saturdays, we will be talking about organization. The reason I'm doing this is a couple of reasons. Number one, I've had a request for how do I organize stuff. And technically, I do have an organizational system in my studio. It's just that when Bob's home, all I have time to do is the project and not put stuff away, so stuff gets moved. I also have an entire sofa and 2 boxes of Stampin'Up product going back to the holiday catalog last year, maybe even year before, that I had pulled out and was going to get cataloged, and it's never been cataloged, and that is a priority for me this year. So, in fact, I'm bringing in a big white conference table and setting it up in the dining room this afternoon and moving all my Stampin'Up stuff to that table so I can start cataloging, and that's going to be my first organizational project. Because before I get that, until I get that done, I can't get to anything else in the studio that needs to be put away. So, that is coming up. But for today, for Reindeer Club, I have Dear Julie Julie's Morning Roses kit. And you've been looking at the cards here in front, so I'm going to slip those aside for now. This is one of the pages that we started with from her kit. And I cut this one out, and I really liked the border. It just really jumped at me. So, but the border didn't pop enough on a card. So I cut this out here. And let me do that really quick because I have enough here to put another card together. I want to get this in here, not lose anything. Save those pieces. Now this is a first Christmas card from this set. When I find the rest of the set or print out everything, I will show you how to take this card and step it up a notch. See, I had all those pieces set aside yesterday. Everything was together. And this is why I have got to get this room. I have to get this room in order. It's just, it has to be done. And I told Bob it will be done by the time he comes home. So that's all I did with that, was I cut that out of that sheet. And then I came back with my Stampin'Up Creamy Caramel. Now you could use any color that you wanted. Vintage Photo from Tim Holtz would work beautifully for this. And it's not so much to give it a vintage look, but so that it will pop off of the gold a little bit. I'm using real red cardstock from Stampin'Up. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet, cut at 5.5 on the long side, folded to 4 1/4, or yeah, 4 1/4 for a front card base. Then I used, and I guess I don't have another front label to that. I thought I had another one of those. I used this outer die from our Ornate Layers dies, and any of the products that are still available, I will link in the video down below. I also, once I cut, let me pull that die out. If I'd have known I didn't have another gold cut, I'd have left that. Now, my gold was cut from a collection called Burnished Metal from Stampin'Up. You can use any gold, but I used the Brushed Metallics, that's what it was, from our holiday catalog last year, and we have it coming out in the holiday catalog again this year. So if we still have the gold foil, I will link it down below. If not, I will come back in later with the new catalog number for the brushed metallics. And then I took, because I didn't want to cover up all that gold space, I went back and I cut the center out using the 3x4 frame from the Project Life, the Project Life set. For doing your own, cutting your own Project Life items. And I cut that out, so I have this left. And then I layered that on the card. I layered this in the center. And then I came back with I decided to use the Merry Christmas from Celebration Tidings, which was in our fall catalog last year. You can use any Merry Christmas sentiment or peace and love or joy or whatever, but you're going to want it to measure no larger than about 1 3/4 by 3/4. If you want to use the dies that I use. Now I came back with these dies from Stampin'Up. These are the stitched nested labels, and I used, not this one, not this one, I used this one, which would be the second one. This one measures from tip to point is 2 3/4 by 1 1/2, and then I used this one for the gold, and it measures 1 3/4 by 3 1/4, and that gave me my gold. I'm trying not to lose those dies; they're not sticking to that magnet very well. And that gave me my layered sentiment. And then I used the Teresa Collins gold from Colorbox. Now this is not available anymore. But I'm sure you can find a gold pigment ink out there. And I brushed the edge of the white, and that's what I stamped the sentiment in. And then I went back over the florals and the leaves with Wink of Stella. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to come back on a different set of cards, and I want to take this layout and I want to step it up. And I want to do that by cutting out this rose, cutting out the greenery here and maybe here, and popping them up and giving this dimension so that it steps it up just a little bit more. Excuse me. And that is our six cards for Reindeer Club. I will spit it out in a minute. And I have 6 more Christmas cards. Now, the ones that I am doing for Design Team Thursday will be my Christmas cards for all of my mixed media artists that I will send Christmas cards to. So whenever Reindeer Club falls on a Design Team Thursday, or if I just see something from the Design Team Thursday that I think would make a great Christmas card, I will be working on my Christmas cards for this so that I can have my Christmas cards ready. But the thing to keep in mind is, and I cut into that full sheet, is when you look at, this is, traditionally this would be like a Valentine themed. The poem on the front of this comes from, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to see this to read it, but I'm going to try. I cannot read it all, but it's a fate, and this was from a greeting card, probably a Valentine. And so it's not something you would think of as Christmas, but there is a Christmas rose. So it's all in how you interpret the image you have to work with. So that is going to be me today for Design Team Thursday and Reindeer Club. Remember, I will be back here tomorrow for Smash That Small Paper Pad with Deb Houck's Crafty Cottage. And then I will be back here on the 30th with the Canned Paper Pumpkin. What gets done in between there, I'm not going to say. Last week was totally messed up. If you watched last Saturday's video, you know that the video you got was not actually Saturday's video. So I have gone back and deleted Saturdays and Sundays videos, and I'm going to have to re-record those, which is a haul from Spectrum Art Creations with Maddie and Madison. I have most of that down here. Some of it I put away. And I have the real flip through of the Dollar Tree Journal Challenge with Jessica at Paper Terrace to come back and redo. So they will be coming up, just not going to say when. And that's it for me for today. Thanks for joining me in the studio. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Click the notifications, and I will see you back here soon. Creative blessings.